God knows everything and leads us to a good path.
Rua spent a happy day at the market with Mom and Dad.
Rua, this tteokbokki looks so delicious.
On their way home, a neighbor greets them with a warm smile.
Congratulations, Mrs. Rua, on the news of Rua's new baby sibling.
Rua, your mom's having a baby. That's awesome. Congrats. But why don't I feel happy at all? I still need my mom too.
It should have been a happy moment, but loneliness and jealousy grew in Rua's heart. Rua grew more and more upset. She felt like all of Mom and Dad's attention had gone to the baby.
I feel a little sad. Why does having a new sibling make me feel so upset? God, do you know my heart too?
Rua shared her honest feelings with God. Then she opened her Bible. At that moment, a story in the Bible came alive. The story of a man named Joseph.
Joseph was the precious son Jacob had in his old age.
One day, Joseph had a dream.
It was a dream where the sun, the moon, and 11 stars bowed down to him.
Jacob was puzzled by Joseph's dream, but he kept it in his heart.
He must not return. We must ensure
But his
it.
brothers grew to hate Joseph even more. In the end, his brothers decided to harm Joseph. But Reuben stopped them, and instead, they sold Joseph to some foreign traders. Even in his fear, Joseph remembered God and whispered,
God, you haven't forgotten me, have you?
When they returned home, the brothers tore Joseph's robe, smeared it with blood, and showed it to their father.
Joseph was taken to Egypt and sold to Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh. But even there, God was with Joseph. Joseph worked faithfully, and Potiphar made him in charge of everything in his household. Potiphar's wife told lies about Joseph, and he was unfairly put in prison. Even in that place, Joseph put his trust in God and prayed. While in prison, Joseph interpreted the dreams of the king's cupbearer and the baker. Years later, Joseph stood before Pharaoh to interpret his strange dream. With God's wisdom, Joseph interpreted Pharaoh's dream. Joseph said there would be 7 years of abundance, then 7 years of famine. Impressed by his wisdom, Pharaoh appointed Joseph as ruler of Egypt. Joseph stored up grain during the years of plenty, and when the famine arrived, Egypt was filled with grain, and not a single part of God's plan failed. The famine reached Canaan, where Joseph's father and brothers lived. There, Joseph was reunited with his brothers. The brothers did not recognize that the governor before them was their brother Joseph, whom they had sold. But Joseph wept and said, "Do not be afraid. It was not you who did this, but God who sent me here ahead of you. It was God's plan to save many lives." Joseph invited his father Jacob and all his family to Egypt. Jacob wept with joy at seeing his son again. They lived together, grateful for God's providence. Rua realized she's never alone. God is always with us.
Look how tiny this
God's
seed
plan
is.
may sometimes
But it
seem
can grow
small
so
and insignificant.
tall.
But in God's hands, it grows and becomes something great, like a mighty tree. God remembers every tear we cry. Those tears grow in God's plan and bear fruit that gives life to many. In times of growth, fear, or joy, Jesus is always with us. Rua realized that even with a new sibling, love does not decrease. In God's presence, the love in our family grew together. God knows everything, even when we don't understand. God is the one who leads our lives in the best way. Like Joseph, like Rua, we also are growing in God's providence.
God knows everything and leads us in the best way.